No, the thing that we're making here is just a for fun thing. It's not part of any other program or any other person's stream. It's just uh, yeah, I have a furry cat-like creature for a main character right now, but it is not my art. That art is owned by Sarah Spalding and was part of the Game Maker Studio tutorial that I did. We're slowly replacing all the art to from that tutorial to art that I've made. I just haven't done the characters yet, so we'll get there. But no, this is not for any kind of competition or anything like that. This is just us working on stuff. Let's see, did I? Oh, wow, I did. Where did I put it? Oh, okay, here it is. Alrighty. Take the logo down. Alrighty then. Shorter answer is nope. The long answer revolves around how it would be unfair if your joy was to ever join. Yeah, I'm not doing any of Thor's game jabs. That doesn't make sense to me. We're seeing how we can go about making a game, and it's been fun. Yeah, so to that point. Come on. Yes, the cat that we use is not our cat. It is the cat from the tutorial, as well as this cat is from the tutorial. We have put some temporary guys in, you know, temporary humans in, but we haven't really picked what world we have yet. So I've just made some basic art to be able to go in and fill in the world a little bit. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to work on anything for it this weekend, but that's okay. We can go and start putting tables in and stuff like that. So if we go into the restaurant, which if we do that here, go to rooms, and then in the village, the town buildings. I could have swore I made a restaurant. Blacksmith, school, shop, temple, town. Did I not make a restaurant? I guess I did not. Or I put it in the wrong place. That happens. Nope, we did not make one. Okay, so let's take the I would just go ahead and take the school and use it as the restaurant. Duplicate room. We'll just call it a diner. Our diner. Our dinner. Our dinner. That's where we get our dinner. Okay, a couple things we need to do. We need to move the door to the correct place. Doop 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 doop, which should be about here just for now. Then we're going to get this guy. Close this. Oops, wrong one. Want this one. There we go. And take our instance, grab this guy, put him in the doorway. Go back to the town. We want to drop him just outside here. So we'll say just for giggles. 590, 500. Okay. So we'll put him at 590, 500. $590, 500. In our town, we'll go and check that. We need to put a put him here on the way back, which is going to be 150.30, 150.30. Okay, so back to town. What we will do is we pop. No, we kind of built that on top of that, didn't we? Well, we'll just put one in here. Instance, blue box. We'll see if he can reach that. He might be able to. We'll set it in a minute. See, now I forgot the number. What was the number? 150.30. Okay. Okay. Save the file. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about here. If a yearling were to ask you for advice or help on his project for a game jam of Thor's, would you help him or her? No direct help, just to be clear. Just some advice? Absolutely, I would help. I have no problem giving advice and things like that, but I'm not going to do any kind of work on somebody's project. That doesn't, no, we're just not going to play that game. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of bringing in ringers to do things. So let me pull the game up here. So I went through and I cleaned up a lot of my scenes over the weekend. So I'm trying to see what still works, because some things may not, and it may take me a second to run around and find some things. But what I'm looking for is that one. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. So let's see if those see if that worked. I don't know if I okay. Well, that's good. So it did work. We do have to take the teacher out of there. Ah, but that one doesn't. Did it not save it down there? Ah, it didn't. And I left a... Okay, I know it's wrong. I'm a dingbat. That's what's wrong. Okay, so we go back to our diner. A couple things. We forgot to check the collide, which we have to take the collide off. Put a hole there. Block a hole there. Okay, so that fixes that. We also want to just do that real quick. Okay, we're going to grab the instance of the teacher. Pretty sure that's what she is. She's an instance, right? Yeah, she should be in the instance. We're going to drop her, say goodbye. And we're going to grab two people. In fact, let's do it this way. So, back to town. Oh, we're over here. We need these twos. These twos, there's you. Actually, it helps if I go to town people. Copy those guys. Go back to our diner and put them in here. Got to zoom out and find them. Oh, I guess it's not going to let me do that. I'm not seeing them. Nope. Okay. Let's go to our townspeople. We need the waitress. We're on the right one, right? No, we were not. Oh, yeah, we are. Okay, we need the waitress. And we need the barmaid. Bop, 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 bop. They both work in here. Ah. And then, was there anybody else? I think there was a guy, but what do we do with him? No. Stable master, storekeeper, teacher, waitress, waiter. Idiot. I think that was it. Oh, the apothecary. No, they're in the store, not in the bar. Okay. Well, that's good for now. Put them in there, which means we need to remove them from outside. Okay. Slowly people are being put in their buildings. That is true, but they don't have the experience nor the insight your Joy has. Put it. I'm more than happy to give advice, and I'm more than happy for you to ignore it, which is good too, or use it. It doesn't matter. But I'm not going to give you so much advice and so much guidance that it completely changes the game that you're capable of making, because that's not fair to you, not less the competition itself. But you know, my thing is, let me put you on the path, and then you can go from there. So, yeah. Okay, so let's move that guy. Unfortunately, I drew all these on top of here, so I can't just turn them off, which I wish I could. Wait, can I? Maybe I can do it with an upper level. Oh, that makes more sense. When you don't use something every day. We do have to solve the problem of the not being able to see the doors when they're on the top of the buildings, but we'll work that out. We'll work that out later. I'm not really too concerned about it right now, but let's turn that back on. Our collide should still be good. Oh, we need to take the collide off. Off collide, we got to take it off the door so that we can actually go in the door, and we should be all good. Okay, things have been saved. To build. Nobody's going to ask you to build their project. No. Well, you'd be surprised. People do. People have asked in the past for me to do that, and I refused. So, but it has been asked. That's why I bring it up. Project for them. If you do their dummies, that won't get very far. But your insight into projects is unique thing that can help people. Oh, absolutely. More than happy to help. But will not do your project for you or be in that kind of situation. Just not going to happen. Okay, let's go back to Game Maker. Should be coming up. And that should have fixed our fellow travelers in and out problem. So, yeah. And these guys should still... I lost their... Yep. I lost their things. I forgot to... Before I deleted them, I forgot to save their stuff. Now they don't talk no more. Oops, not that one. Let me go back to, need to open up our design doc. I'm pretty sure I saved what they said. If I didn't, then I'm a dummy. But oh well. We will fix it now. Look at all the bright lights. Bright lights. Bright light. Bright light. Okay. Oh. Oh no, that's just the explanation of who they are. Okay. I did not save it. But we can grab this real quick. And this one is it capitalized? Yes. We need a new text box. We need to go. Did she have a name already? I don't believe she did. No, she did not. I'm the barmaid. Okay, and that needs to be a number 2. Okay. It didn't crash, so that's good. New text box. Drop this in there, and then we can put that in number 202. They don't have names yet, so we'll work that out later. We have some with names, but we didn't name everybody, which we should probably do later, but it's not really absolutely important right now. Okay, so I kind of remembered what one said. I didn't remember what I said for the other one, but that at least gives them something to say. So we have at least their text boxes or their dialogue boxes are in place. We can we're going to need to eventually start building out conversation arrays or conversation maps, and we'll talk about that because I actually would like to use Miro for that because I want to be able to have enough conversation that it just kind of works. Because I think that there's a lot of times when, and I know that it's because teams have to, but there's a lot of times when they just give characters 1 or 2 lines that they just repeat over and over again. You know, but my way of looking at it is if you're just passing that character and you won't see them again, that's fine. Or you only see them a couple times, that's great. But I want a more vivid set of personalities for our characters, both the NPCs as well as our main characters, so that it feels like you're actually having conversations. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Let's see if that worked, or if they say something, if it's all garbled or something, we'll see. Hi, I'm the barmaid. What can I get for you, honey? That one worked. Hi, I'm your waitress. How many in your party? Yep, there you go. So that all works still. That's good. Yeah, and I will do my best to give you guys the best advice I can. I just don't want to get in a situation where I'm tipping the scales for number one, tipping the scales for people that don't have my advice, from against people who don't have my advice, and just giving too much advice that changes the scope of what it is you're actually doing, which may be a good thing, maybe a bad thing. I still am on the fence on that one, but we'll see. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Nobody's going to ask you. Yeah, well, they have. We already talked about that. But yeah, I'm more than happy to help or give advice or say anything, but we'll see. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The tree, what is... Okay, I'm trying to understand this line of conversation here. Apparently, I fully agree with that, but given that we have a well of wisdom, yeah, ask any questions you want. Ask for any kind of advice that you need. I'm more than happy to help. Wisdom we might not get in the same way from Thor's mods or even Thor. Well, yeah, I have a completely different opinion on things than Thor does. The tree is a bit weird, though I think it's a bit complicated to fix. Okay, not sure where the tree thing comes from. Mm-hmm. I say good advice is valuable. Yep. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Savvy, for the bless you. For some reason, my nose just wanted to sneeze. Oh, it's just a layer thing. Yeah. They're just thrown in there for effect because we made them and they're funny. Yeah, so it's just a layer thing. I just didn't want empty space because you see some of them when it's a dissolving roof, the tree is under it. When it is a building that we go into, the tree is not. And I still need to fix this to where when we're going in the building, we actually go underneath the roof. We have the same problem when we're walking up into them, into ones like this one here. We'll go down here. You know, the same problem here where he's walking across the roof to get in. So that's all stuff that we need to fix in layers and stuff like that. Oop. But I haven't fixed the animations on here because they're not my animations to fix. So I will eventually be building a character for us. Yeah. Yeah, they're just temps so that we don't have empty space out in our world. We just walked off the screen. Just silly trees. There are happy little trees. Ah, we're stuck. Let's see if these still work. Yep, these all still work. Mm-hmm. What's funny about this is Jimmy Kimmel did a joke. God, what was the thing? But at the end of it, he got tossed to the moon or tossed to Mars, and Matt Damon found him. It was very funny. Made me laugh. Yeah, we put all that in. I hate you, Granddad. No. Throwing stuff at Granddad. That's not good. Oh, look, the collision isn't working on them. We do have to put their identifiers back in because we when I changed the artwork out, apparently they lost all their identities. Yeah, so we need to fix that. Oh, wow, nicely done. Sparta, that's very nicely done. I found it really helpful to watch YouTube recaps of how indie devs made some of these blockbuster titles. The Stardew Valley creator went through a lot of making that game and gave me a lot of context as to what makes some games unique. Well, that is the trick, is you do want your game to be unique, but you also want it to reflect your personality, which is if it's just you making a game, then it's just, yes, do it, you know. But any advice you can get from anybody, two things. One, their perspective is always going to be different, because I made a lot of the early games with a lot of people, you know, and my perspective of how we did it will be different from, say, Sam's perspective of how we did it, or Alan Adham's perspective of how we did it. You know, because each of us had different roles and we're doing different things. It wasn't that we were all on the same page all the time, every single day. It just doesn't work that way. You know, so finding out the perspective of many people. You know, another one is what is the name of that book again? I think it's called Wow Diary or something like that. That one's a pretty good one, because I know that he kept notes all the way through his working with, I think it's John Statz. Yeah, Wow Diary. I wanted to shout you out and say thank you for your format. I've told more than a few chatters in my stream about your YouTube playlist, because it focuses so heavily on the broad spectrum planning and idea of development, instead of just diving into the coding. Well, because for me, I need a world to walk around in, you know, and I know that it's taken us quite a while to get here because of me having to learn Game Maker and stuff like that as part of my homework. But now we're getting to the point to where the town is actually starting to come together, and what I want to do is for the internals is, now we have all of our basics. We have I need to close some of these windows and just open the things we need. You know, but we have our basic town. We have basically where he can go. You know, it doesn't matter, things that don't matter right now. It doesn't matter that we don't have the faraway town. It doesn't matter that we don't even have the mine yet, or the grandfather's brother's house, or anything like that. Because what I want to concentrate now on is what does he do once he comes back from the faraway town and Grandpa's missing? What are the things that he's going to do? And I'm going to get out my board, and I'm going to start throwing a bunch of ideas on it in the Miro board for what do we come back to? What does he come back to? I'm trying to find, what did I do with it? I must have closed it. And it may seem silly, because we've come a long way to go back to the beginning, but that's okay, because that's, in all honesty, that's what happens in game development all the time. You go the long way around to come back to the beginning. So let's go back to the very beginning, where we're going to start. Mhm. We have a big old game too. We have a big old set of maps here. So if he's going to start here, right? He's going to come home. He's going to come from the faraway town, which is from this area over here. He's going to come home, and Grandpa's going to be gone. This is not Grandpa's house, but it will be. So Grandpa, he's going to look for Grandpa. He's going to go to the clinic and look in there, say, is my Grandpa here? And they're going to go, no. And then he's going to go, oh. And then this guy, instead of asking to go find his hat, we can have him, let me get the Miro board up here, because we can start brainstorming this stuff now. Miro, my hero, Miro. Such a funny little hero. Wow, Miro took forever to come up. What the hell? All right, so let's go to our Miro board, which would be this one, I believe. I know this is the other kind, isn't it? Cancel that. We need this one. Yep. No. That's the one there. Okay, so this was our original Miro board. Let me close these other two things. So we're going to go back to our original Miro board. And what we're going to do, oh, that is huge. Make it smaller. And basically we're going to make a box over here on the side. We're going to say in this box, it's onto the screen. Just give me the box, will you? Blue ones. So he's in the forest on his way back from big city. He comes to he arrives home. Arrives home. This is an we'll use orange for this. This is so Granddad's not there. This is where we're basically starting. Sorry, that's getting off the screen, so let's make it a little bit shorter. Grab those two and put them over close to here. So let's start. Basically, what I want to do is I want to map out what he comes into. So he has the things that Granddad sent him to get. We'll just say has items GD wanted. Okay. He arrives home. Granddad's missing. What he does is he goes to the clinic. Clinic. Okay. So he goes to the clinic, and what we can do is we can do an offshoot. We can do a branch here. Is what we put this here, and this will be a, we'll say green. So this is an interaction with. So so the nurse tells him that his that some men came and took him. Yeah. So and then maybe let's say that she suggests he go and see like the sheriff or whatever. Sorry, I can't spell when I'm doing this. So he went to see the sheriff. Oh, that's funny. Okay. So he goes into town. We'll make this back to blue. So right now, what I'm trying to path out is just his journey through the world. You know, because there's going to be a lot more things to do, but his main this is basically his main path through the game. These are the things that he's going to have to do, not things that he not including everything he can do. This is just his main path. Um, if does that make sense to you guys? Because I may be explaining it poorly, but I hope that's making sense to you guys. Yeah. Okay. Why is that in the way? Can we move that? Get out of the way. Fine. Hmm. Yes, only main quest paths. So from there he goes to town. You know. Now I'm going to assume that the sheriff is actually in the town hall. So he enters the town hall. And basically uh, sheriff is a dick. Sheriff is a dick and chases him away. Yeah, this is just the basic story pickup. You know, Well, he had to go there twice. No. Too funny. Actually, no, that one's goes to town. Yeah, what did it say? He looks for the town hall, and then he enters the town hall. Or better yet, let's do it this way. So he can ask villagers where the sheriff is. So he goes to town, asks villagers where the sheriff is. He goes to the town hall and finds the sheriff. And basically, the sheriff's a dick to him and throws him out. Basically, he tells him, "I have no business. You come back in 2 days or something." That kind of thing. Well, yeah, I mean, pretty much. Because what we can do later is we can say that the sheriff was part of it because he was working for the grand uncle. Yeah. Uh, so basically, now he's alone in town with a deep desire to find out what happened to Granddad. You know. Yeah, and we've talked about that too before. Even when we were doing this part here, when we were pulling all this stuff together before, is it was very much corrupt officials and things like that were part of the town hall, if I remember correctly. See, we had the corrupt officials and mayor's village elder. All people bought off by the granddad's brother. You know, but, yeah, this is all old stuff. It's amazing how fast it gets old. Hmm. Oh, where to put it? There it is. Okay, so for us opening part, this is just basically it. He comes home, granddad's gone, goes to the clinic, and the nurse basically, his granddad's nurse tells him that some men took him away. We can also do the whole they came to the clinic and disrupted the clinic and all that kind of stuff, but that's extra stuff that we'll add later. Zombie coming. Boom. So the big question next is now that he has it. Oh, I know. So, because we had mentioned this in the earlier stuff, and it's been a while, so sorry, I forgot some of the particulars. But he's alone in town, so he goes to the. So he goes to the temple to talk to the wise monk, which was some of the storyline that we set up before. I just forgot about it. It happens. As a quick side note, you said you wanted to have a village idiot. I was thinking we're not modern era. With running election, we could have him as a super smart guy who was for discovering electricity. However, his wife tricked him, stole all of his fortune, and he lost his mind. So now you catch glimpses of his genius. Yeah. I mean, our village idiot still is around. He's still there. We can pretty much do anything with him. But being the secret genius thing probably could be interesting. I mean to do that. Yeah, but we could also have him to where he's just like I have him now, which he's telling silly dad jokes. We're gonna randomize the dad jokes, but in between dad jokes, he can give you sound advice. You know, maybe teach you recipes for making things like from electricity and things like that. Can I be the village idiot? Sure, go ahead. But yeah, we can make characters into almost anything. You know, and we will go back, and I just put the village idiot in here just because I think every town needs a town crier and or joker. You know, it's just something I like doing in games. You know, you need to express personalities in games, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. In between dad jokes, he gives you a breakdown of how capacitors works. Capacitors work. Yeah. We could do that, but he could also. God, I think that your idea is sound because my brain is already working on what we can do with him. Because his madness can give way to moments of clarity in the most obscure times. And in that clarity, he can give you sound advice. That's even too small for me to read. Let's see if we can take that down. So what I'm writing here is the village idiot, as all village idiots are, is an emotionally distraught genius. There you go. And wow, that's an interesting word. Something you don't see around the house every day. So if we do something like that, where he's a babbling wreck because he's emotionally distraught, but he in some moments he becomes clear headed and answers questions before you ask them type thing. Yeah, because he can use it as we can do real stupid stuff with it, where which could actually help us out. It's like he could say how to make a bar of soap if they don't have soap, but we still need to know what world we're in before we can do those kind of things. Look at Steve. Steve thinks he can harness the power of lightning and use it to light up the night as if it's day. Ha ha ha. Steve's a dummy. Yeah, I don't think that we'd be that basic with it, but yes, I see where you're going with it. But in regards to our character, the village idiot can be a huge help in our character's search and endeavors. No, he's not silent. He talks. He does all those things. Sorry, I need to change my glasses here real quick. These ones are giving me a bit of a headache. I know they don't look like they've changed, but they have. Okay, so he goes to the wise monk. And what does the monk tell him? The monk will tell him, let's see, blah, 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 blah. Oops, not what I planned to do. Basically, what I'm saying, oh, it's not even on the screen. Sorry about that, guys. So if we do a thing where the monk says, look for answers. Answers. Okay. Wow, that got all screwed up. Yeah, that's better. And it can be there could be a diverging path here. Is because our diverging paths, if when we make just simple diverging paths like this, it doesn't mean that he's going to actually do one or the other. It doesn't really much matter. It's just you want to give your player a feeling that they have a choice, that their adventure will change based on their decisions. God, you guys are so funny. Sorry, I'm testing something in the background here. Give me just a second. Sure. You like when I'm emotionally damaged. I see how you are. Okay, let's check this real quick. So he comes into town. He goes to the sheriff. The sheriff says basically, go away. He goes to the village idiot. Yeah, there's the village idiot. And then he goes to the minister, the priest. Hmm. It's always good to have choices. And it's always good to add humor to your work, especially when it's temp, because temp stuff you can do anything you want with temp stuff. And yes, there is a certain percentage of it that actually stays in the game, but yeah. So far I like the depth of that character with the emotional damage. He's looking really good. Yep. I am Cervantes, the village idiot. What has two legs but cannot walk? A pair of pants. I'm okay with him using my alias. Like I said, you can have a lot of fun with temp stuff. It doesn't have to stay that way. It's just for the in this moment. We're all good. Well, we could even change it a little bit more here. Go back to this real quick. Okay, I think that's actually better. I think that works better. Here, is this better? See, but that's kind of it. It's just sitting there and having these kind of things thrown out there. You can come up with some pretty cool stuff and things that make you laugh as well as will not confuse your actual player, but make your player feel that there's more to the game than just the game. And I like that kind of thing personally. That's stuff that I really, really like. You know, plus just I'm a big fan of adding things of the people that are working on the game or are part of the making of the game, adding things that are personal to them into it. Not like private personal, but personal as in things going on. You know, silly things like this. Because now we know his name is Steve. Hello, Steve. Plus, we can also give because we have I am Cervantes, the village idiot. You can call me Steve. It shows that there's it's a hint that there's two personalities there, and that can we can play with that quite a bit. Okay, where were we over here? Close that. We can go. Okay, we can actually add Steve in here. So we can go, instead of going here, take that off. Nope, 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 nope. That's not what we want to do. Come on. Okay, move these guys out of the way. So nobody's lined up. Or actually, no, we can say, geez, I'm having emotional issues here. So, geez, God dang it. Put this over here. Let's take this and make a new one. And we'll say, since Steve is right outside the door to the town hall, he talks to Steve. He talks to Steve, and then we'll say, we'll make that a yellow. And then Steve sends him to the because we can do a thing where the priest knows that Steve's not insane. And then we can go, you go, you can say, look to Steve's for your ounces or go home and wait. Because that puts him in conflict because he knows that Steve's the village idiot, but he may not completely know that he's also a genius. So, because it's kind of like Pinky from Pinky in the Brain is Pinky is kind of silly, but he's also a genius. You know, the brain was the one that was insane, by the way, just like, you know. Because that also sets Steve up as the main place to go for answers, even though they may come off as extremely insane answers, and we'll have a lot of fun writing those answers. Oh yeah, Pinky and the Brain was amazing. One of my favorite cartoons. Okay, so where we're at here is this. Get this back over here. So he comes home. He arrives home. Granddad's not there, so he goes over to the clinic, um, and they tell him that the nurse tells him that the granddad was taken away by some men. Suggests he goes to the sheriff. He goes into town, asks villagers where the sheriff is, enters the town hall. Sheriff is a dick and chases him away. He's now alone in town, so he walks over, because since Steve is right outside the town hall, he walks over to Steve, and Steve sends him to the temple. Sends him to the temple, and then he goes to the temple and talks to the monk. The monk sends him, instead of sending him home, since we're going to have, says he's going to advise him, and this is going to be, we'll make this an advice. So we'll just make it green for now for something that he's advised to. Look for Steve for for answers, not your answers, but answers. You know, so that's a choice, but it's also just like, okay, that's madness. Well, I think that only makes sense. I need no name. I think that only makes sense depending on what world we create. So I don't know if that works yet. Plot for Rambo, but yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? You know. Well, the cool thing about Steve, the way you guys have described him, the way I'm thinking of him now, is that Steve can actually know everything, but be putting on an act that he doesn't. You know, he can be putting on the act that he's, because he probably has put that persona on to protect him from something, you know, or to make people ignore him. And here comes the zombie. To hide from the Inquisition. Pretty much, yeah. But I think I'm wrong in having the monk tell him to go home. You know, he. Oh, I know. Oh, I know exactly what you can do. Jeez, this should have been the point all along. Yeah, so that's it. So the monk then tells him to go look to his ancestors for guidance, which means that gets him up to where the ancestors are, and where most of his main quests that he's going to level up from are. So this being the main line that he will follow, the main line he should be following. Doesn't mean he has to, and we can build all kinds of side things around it. You know, like and we can say so this is. This is his main path. And then we can make another box. Let's move this for now. Down here. We'll put, I'm sorry, I opened up a box in front of that. I'm going to copy this. And then we can do, oh God, wow. My finger's just one off. So then we can do side paths. So like every person that he runs into can give him something to do. So we can say the nurse. Yeah, we can say I mean we could let's do this. Make these this color. So we have who are the people he will run into on the way. Let's go back and look. So when he's running in town, he runs into the boy. He runs into who are people that are out. Let me look at this real quick. Who are people that are not in buildings? Because I think those are the people he would run into first. In all honesty, a candle maker. Candle maker. Those are the people that are closest to the center of town right now. Yeah. Those are two. Those are the best one. Let's make that empty for now. So like we had talked about some things for the candle maker, and we'll make it orange. No, green. So this is just like a simple one. So for the candle maker, it's like, bring me some wax from the beehives out back. You know, since we set all that stuff up before anyway. You know, the nurse can ask for the medicine that he was supposed to go get. Mhm. Because this is just the beginning of little side quests here and there that can be done. You know, if we can have the boy, he likes, oh, you know, so that kind of thing. They're just simple little quests, little silly things. A nurse, a boy, and a candle maker walk into a bar. The candle maker says, "Got a light?" Or you can go the obvious. A nurse, a boy, and a candle maker walk into a bar. All three of them say, "Ouch." tooth. Okay, who else is in the general area? Because as we work through, butcher, a baker, and a candlestick maker walk into a bar, and the barman says, "What is this? A joke?" A butcher, a baker, and a candlestick maker walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "This isn't a tub." Who is this guy again? Okay, that is storekeeper. Right. And because even though we have our main path, we can also say that wise man we can say that he needs candles. Okay, so let's go back to our main line. As for the boy is making me think. Let's make him nemesis of arch nemesis of Otter. The boy really likes throwing stuff in the water, but one day he almost hit an otter, so the otter has been fighting with him ever since. You can't beat the otter in the fight, so that's why he wants axes. I like the idea, but it needs to be fleshed out a little bit more, but that's okay. We'll put it in there so we have it. It's the same otter that tells you spitting facts is better than picking your nose. You make one of the boys. There you go. I've added it to the bottom. See, but now you have to add another thing to your list of titles. Let's see. Defender against small boys with axes. Too funny. I don't think he needs encouragement. In all honesty, I think he's probably already got it. Guardian of the Lake. Very nice. Too late. Ha. Too funny. You like that one? Yeah. See, he's got a thing going there. He's got it. It's going to be a ongoing thing forever. Okay, so he goes to the ancestors. He talks to the first ancestors, and we can decide. Basically, we do have our ancestors over here. Where are they at? Damn ancestors, we passed them by. Let's grab this whole thing. See, I don't have to copy it. I can just grab it and move it. Didn't take everything with it. Z. And all this with us. Come with me. And you'll see a land of pure imagination. These guys out of the way. Okay, so now what we have to do, we basically have to make a decision as to which. Sorry. Hang on just a second. Ah, yeah, I cleared it up. Because one thing we didn't discuss, and I don't know if, well, we kind of put them in order. Because I think we should go, when it comes to the order, is I think the order should be the oldest ancestor to the newest. So when the first ancestor, which is the great great grandfather, who gives him the lion's roar, we'll say, in fact, let's just do a copy of that copy. And go back over here. So put it way up there, but I made these way too big, but oh well. Oh, okay. Well, we'll just do that. Because this is going to get quite large, so. Oh, God, I hate when that does that. Come on. Hmm. Oh, it's not going to let me do that. See? All right. Mm-hmm. It's not going to let me resize all of them at once. That sucks. so we have some room. How big's medium? Medium's actually probably better for this. You would think it would let you select a lot of them and change them all at once, but it doesn't seem to let you. Ah, now it will. I just did it wrong. Who knows? What point does it say no? Okay, so now we have a lot more room. It's all together. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit more controlled. So that's where he gets his first set of quests from Granddad or great great granddad. One of my favorite memories. You guys are talking about Monty Python. One of my favorite memories of Monty Python was when I was little. My mom, for some reason, tried to make us cultured, even though we nobody in the family was cultured. And one day I was in there watching cartoons on TV, and she goes, "You can't watch this stupid cartoons," and blah blah blah. She changed the channel, and there was a quartet playing on a field, like sitting on a field and playing a quartet of violins and cellos and stuff. And she goes, "Well, watch this," and I'm just like, I'm morbidly just like, no, please, no, not this, because she always put it on stuff like that, thinking it was going to help us become smarter, and it didn't. Um, but as they're playing, they started sawing their arms off and blood was squirting everywhere and all that. I was laughing so hard. And she was completely appalled by it. Just like, eh. I thought it was funny. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I actually have all the Monty Python. Monty Python came out in 1969. Yeah. The only thing that's made me sad about Monty Python is I read Margolis's book, and she says that they were just complete assholes to her, and I've always felt bad about that. I don't know how true it is, but um, okay. So we're at Granddad now. What Granddad, great great grandfather? Life of Brian's really good. You thank George Harrison for that one. He's actually even in it. Yeah, George Harrison funded a couple of their movies. I think he actually took out a loan on his house to help pay for one of them. Okay, so this is basically our path to get him to the ancestors. Now we pulled the ancestor material over here. So what does the first granddad do? Okay, great great granddad. The first ancestor, the great great grandfather, might say, "My child, remember this courage is not absence of fear, but a triumph over it." Okay, I know what I forgot. Something that we had talked about before. Jesus, really? I will put it on hold for a minute. Mm-hmm. Brains, 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 brain for brains, wonderful brains. Brain for brains, wonderful brains, 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 brains. In in loving memory of spam, 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 wonderful spam, wonderful spam. Another Monty Python song. Get a quick throat break. Um, hmm. Okay, add. 17 more second. Four seconds. Okay, so one of the things I forgot is he goes to the ancestor's tomb and he can't talk to the first ancestor yet because if you remember from our original discussion, the ancestors' statues are damaged. Ah, keep hitting that. So the ancestors' headstones, we'll just call them headstones for now, but we'll figure that out later. Headstones are damaged. That would be a hyphenated word. Close enough. Are broken. And then we can do a oops. Did not want to do that. Move this guy further away. Okay. So basically, what I put in there was so he goes to the ancestors' tomb. The ancestors' headstones are all broken because someone had gone in and smashed them. So the spirit of the fountain, which is the fountain in the middle of the room, which we talked about before, is that's where his ancestors would give him pass powers on to him and things like that. So yeah, so the spirit of the fountain comes out and says, your ancestors are there, but basically you need to fix their statues or their headstones to their headstones in order to talk to them. So, and then sends him on the quest for the first um, or sends the first stones for let's see, it's GGG. So the GGG. So the triple G. So that would be a green. Yeah. So we can do he returns with the stones for that and then talks to the ancestor. Then the grandfather gives him the lion's roar. That's behind my head. Sorry about that, guys. There's an idea when we originally talked about this that he'd, oops, sorry, hit a button. Screw it up. No, I didn't screw it up. Oh. That he'd find one of the stone slabs for the statue in the vicinity of the tomb, and it would help guide him forward. That is true. We did talk about that. Mhm. What we can do is let's modify that a bit because I don't want to because we want all of the stones to be destroyed. What I think the first stone is, the one that you're talking about, Sparta, is we're going to adjust it a little bit. Is that first stone is a piece, is the only piece broken off of the fountain. So the fountain, because what we want to do is we want to make the fountain the place he goes to level up, because each of the ancestors is repaired, each of their tombstones is repaired, they take him to the fountain. We talked about this before too. They take him to the fountain and then they bestow their powers on him using the water from the fountain. So if we take that stone and say, let's go, Ow. Jeez. When he first finds a stone, he doesn't know what it's for at all. We'll make it a pink for right now. And let's take these guys, move them down one. Okay. Yeah, because when we talked about it, and I think this was after the first time we talked about it, is I was trying to think of a way to say, how does, if the ancestors have power, why don't they use the power to put their own stones back together? And that didn't make sense to me. So what we came up with in the discussion we were having is that the ancestors would use the power of the fountain, the spirit in the fountain, to bestow things on him and stuff like that once they were made whole again. Because they were spirits, they couldn't do a lot without having the extra energy from the fountain. Yeah, so if we use the original piece that he finds outside as piece to the fountain, because when he goes in, everything's broken, nothing works. The fountain is pretty much, there's just one piece missing. Just say something broke off or something. You know, so yes. Fountain is the conduit, and Steve will tell you how to use it. Steve will say, go plug it in, and it will work. Okay. So this pretty much gets us to. So the fountain then. Okay, let's come down here. So you fix the fountain. So he goes to the ancestor's tomb. Everything in the ancestor's tomb is broken up, and the fountain has a piece missing as well. Um, Finds a stone by the tomb, takes it in and fixes the fountain. The fountain tells him that he needs to fix his ancestors. Yeah, and that's the idea. Sparta, that's exactly what the idea is. Is that the fountain is a conduit for bestow blessings on someone they choose worthy. Yes, so he has to go and learn it. Learn it. So he talks to the first ancestor. Let me delete this line. Sorry, it's behind you there, but I'm gonna turn left. So the fountain sends him on the quest to find grandfather's stones, the first great great grandfather's stones. He comes back, he returns the stones, talks to the ancestor. The ancestor, let's see, great granddad, grandfather. And gives, so he takes the grandfather's spirit, takes him to the fountain, and gives him the lion's roar. So yeah, it's a basic rinse and repeat after that for all of them. The story concept for this game reminds me a lot of a lot. Hmm. Well, I mean, part of writing games is to be unique, but also to touch certain emotional things and touch certain memories of stuff. Because you want to be able to have people feel connected to it as quickly as possible. And having some relativity to things they've done next. So this is everything right now, the main path to get to the first power, your first level up. Oh, I forgot to add that. Because he not only gives him the lion's roar, he also goes to level 2. Goes to level 2. Or 1, depending on if we start him at 0. We'll say 1 for now. What is that noise? Okay, it's not being picked up on the mic, but there's a low growl going on in the background here. Must be something outside. They've been doing construction down the street, so it is not helping. Sorry, I'm looking at something real quick. Okay, well, the backyard isn't flooded. That's good. It must be something down the street. Okay, where were we at now? With no direct attack. It's neat. Okay, got it. So we got him going through from 0 to level 1. And there's quite a bit there that all of the extra stuff that's going to go on in the game, all of these guys over here, there's going to be a lot of busy work that these guys give him, because we'll eventually run it out for all of them, what they do and how they interact. But for a first pass on the core path that he can go into, we've done a lot of things. We've established that his grandfather's missing. We've established that there's no help from law enforcement in the town. We've established that the wise man is willing to help him. We've established that Steve, the village idiot, is also someone that the wise man believes he can go to for advice and help sometimes. We've established that he needs to go to his ancestors for help, and that each of his ancestors, if he rebuilds their headstones, then each of his ancestors will impart on him some special ability. Now we haven't. If you just look at it from that point of view, it gives the impression that we've lost the fact that he's looking for Grandpa, but that's the whole point. So he's basically asking everybody about Grandpa. So even the ancestors and the fountain and the wise men and all that, everybody gets it. Blizzard's old code word for a game is shit. Okay, yeah. It's neat. Sorry, Chief. Talking about Sentinels in the Mulver universe, a card game. Oh, okay, cool. High five. Ads are coming in 2 minutes. Where are we at? Oh, we're almost done with this today. But we do have our main our main line done for level 1, and it's actually a lot, because if you put in there the fact that you're going to be doing exploring of the town, stuff like that, we still need to add some things in the house, that are in disarray. Maybe Granddad left him a clue of some kind, or Granddad left him something, or one of the people that took him dropped something, and that can cause the sheriff to come looking for him later. Is Bob the Bandit grabbed Granddad and lost his pocket knife or something that can identify him. So I don't know. Hard to say. Hard to say at the moment. My brain is like, okay, what's next? But you can see that mapping it out like this actually becomes very, very helpful. And this can also be done on big old graph paper and stuff like that. So you can see that there's some helpful stuff there. But now what we can do is we can continue even going through every single person in town and putting together some side quests from them, And also we have to write for the fountain. I'm wondering if the fountain should know all, but maybe not. I think that the fountain should know all when it comes to the ancestors and their demise and stuff like that. But I think that the physical world, we can use Steve as the orator of the physical world. So if we do this, keep doing that. We do that as spirit world, then come up to Steve up here. And Steve is physical world. In all of his craziness, of course. So that gives us two paths to go by. Is because we can go by the spiritual path or we can go by the physical path. And when we have questions when it comes to the ancestors and things like that, we can go to the fountain when we have questions about the physical world and things going on in it. We can go to Steve. Yeah, we can do it that way, where the fountain only knows tales told by the ancestors. It gathers the knowledge of those that want its power, but it is not clairvoyant. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It should not know the future, but it should know all the past of the ancestors in question. I'm going to copy what you just wrote and put it in with the other stuff that you said earlier so that we have it. Ah. Okay, apparently that's going to be a thing today, is sneezing. We do not need it to be that big. Yeah, that's better. Had to go. Cool. Let's see. What am I? Okay. That should be saved automatically, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, so what we'll do probably tomorrow is just list everybody in town and see what little quests they can send him on. You know, and what we'll do is we'll try to level the quest. Meaning, this is we can say, oh, let me just put it here. We can do it right now, actually. So if we move everybody over here, oh sure, now it works. We move everything over here, and we can say, put this text box here. Level 0. What we can do is something like this, where, come on, work with me, where we have levels to the quest that he's doing. So they can only give them to him if he's that level type thing, or that level or lower. So all 1 quests will, if he hasn't done the 0 quests first, he can still do those. He can still do those 0 quests type thing. But it gives us a good starting point for difficulty levels, as well as quests that need the special powers that he's getting from his ancestors. I've been making a spreadsheet of all potential interactions within the village, how the traders get their supplies and what kind of supplies they need, also potential times of day where they'd interact with their village. Okay, sorry, that just moved on me. Village, their suppliers, and I also opened up some ideas for the new areas. I sent you a couple earlier, but I doubt I haven't looked at anything really yet. Level requirements also allow you to show passage of time. Yeah, because every time he levels up, I want to change his artwork. just so that mostly so that you could anybody watching could look at it and go, oh, he's level blah blah blah. I just like that idea, and I just love the one of the things I really loved about the game Evo way back when was the fact that your character changed throughout. But we it also means that for some of our NPCs, they don't have to give him a level 0. Some of them can be they don't give them a quest till level 2, level 1, level 3, whatever. So we can mix and match that and play with it a little bit. No, I haven't had time to look at anything really on the thing since we started doing this. So, oh, okay. Well, we have about 4 minutes left. I will look at that tonight. Yeah, I'm assuming it is the spreadsheet thing that you sent. Yeah, we started putting something similar to this together a couple weeks ago, but I got distracted by having to do the um, the tutorial. So if you remember, let me see if I still have it here. It would be under. Where is it? There it is. Let's open our design sheet. So we started similar to what you have on that you just sent me. Let me open this other thing here. Because we started to put that together and then we got sidetracked. So let me open that. So this is similar to what you're putting there. And we were talking about what different things they need, what they make and stuff like that. We just didn't finish it because, God dang it. We just didn't finish it. So yeah. So if we're going through the baker, we actually named a couple of them too, but yeah. But yeah, you're basically on the same track that I was, but we just, like I said, we got sidetracked. And we also did, that's the same thing that we did for the names and stuff for the buildings and people. Yep. And then we also made a list of bad things our kid can do in town because we still have to talk about the honorary system thing and all that. Yeah, and then different things he can do for each of them. Yeah. So yeah, so a lot of the stuff will be the side quests, like this stuff here, things to do. And some of them can be little, some of them could be big, doesn't matter. Sweep temple. And then we'll start talking about the bigger ones, which is what we'll put into the leveling up parts. So all of this would be what goes into these things here. So as we start to break them down, and I'll look at your spreadsheet a little bit more after, but yeah, I think we're actually on the same page. Cute. I need no name. That's funny. No, take your shovel and eat your breakfast. Eat your soup. Eat your soup. Okay, so let's make sure everything is saved. This is what we basically walked through today. And we will start, basically we'll start fresh for level 2, that kind of thing. As for each level, we'll start over. That way, because to me, each level should be a separate game, but when I use the word separate game, is I think it should be a fully contained game based on the level, what the character can do, and stuff like that. And it gives you a lot more steps in there to play with. Okay, let's close that. Actually, we need to close it over here first, don't we? Let's close it here. Close it there so that automatically saves. We're happy about that. Oh, get rid of those. Back over here. Pull our logos up. Where is our logos? There it is. Save this. Okay, we are all back to where we're supposed to be. Yeah, so I'll look at your spreadsheet stuff later, and I will add it to the design docs and to the ones that I have. I think a lot of them. Looking at, yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, I'll look at it. I have to look at it more deeply. Cute. Yep. Good job. Good job today, peoples. Hope everybody enjoyed themselves. It is now the time to go to our other venture,